The time is 11:25 a.m. Friday, late morning, August 23rd, year 2024. I was just hit again in my room with, I call it the pancreas poison. It was bad. It hurt really bad. They bursted it into my main room for a good handful of minutes, 2-3 minutes. And they're bursting something else that makes you lightheaded. It's not quite martini gas, but I'm, definitely under the effects of something that's intoxicating. And I feel, not slightly, I feel lightheaded. It's not my body reacting to any chemical substance. It's something making me high, okay? All right, we're clear on that. I don't need to be grouchy here, but I am grouchy. I just live in this chemical hell here. I had to tone it down on reporting this property. And as of now, the time I just said, I can report whatever I want. But having said that, there's so much that goes on. I'm just going to tone it down and figure out what needs to be reported, okay? It's madness inside of 1509 S Street Northwest. It's madness up and down this street, okay? Evidence to that madness. As of today, I can report. They call them the witch doctors. All right? I can't make any statements on their whereabouts or their status. They taught these kooks that they bring in to these row houses to dismember human dead bodies. It's their own people that come here and are killed. Many of those bodies I smell in this property, 1509 S Street Northwest, like I have reported. And they stash them under the floor, on the staircase. They stash them in the wall. I've reported that. So it takes a particular kind of schizophrenic to do that. And you can, if you want to go witness them leaving these properties, you can. And sometimes they stand outside in the front of the properties. They're crazy. They're criminally insane. But they know what's right and wrong, so I don't exactly know what the military tribunals will do with them other than give them capital punishment because they were trying to overthrow the United States Constitution and government for a foreign enemy. The witch doctors, I can't make any statements or comments of where they're from or their whereabouts or the status. How many? I can't say how many. I can't make comments. Just that they were called witch doctors. It's an occult Wicca satanic group. A lot of them are based in Virginia. These kooks get together and do witchcraft in Virginia. So I can report this now, 24 hours after the fact. There was 2 of the kooks standing outside and in front of 1507 right on the property line and 1505, which is where massive whore and gore take place, along with 1509, along with 1511. These properties I just said are basically empty. You'll just see cuckoos coming in and out. They look visibly mentally ill. They are severely mentally ill. And they will look like they're on a substance because they are. They're loaded. The substance that they are taking causes hallucinations, along with, I can't say other side effects of that drug that they take. I can't talk about it. Okay. So yesterday, what I needed to report was the Middle Eastern prostitute and the Middle Eastern female walking right behind her. They all do that. They walk behind the hookers. They walk behind a lot of their kooks that run in and out of houses on their way to the houses. I've reported that. There'll be a U.S. citizen thinking they're hot shots walking behind these individuals who are perpetrators to violent offenses or hookers. They protect the hookers walking down B Street. Okay, so I reported that. That was uno numero importante. Pronto. So that got accomplished. Today, 24 hours after the fact, I can talk about the kooks that were standing there too. Everybody knows each other when it's coordinated, ordered. The sidewalk can be very, very coordinated and ordered in front of S Street, also across the street. It can be a great deal of the time. It's not just random. No. I can't give a lot of details to this, but since I said that, yes, I could. But I'm not allowed right now to give details on the internet about precisely what I am saying. Just take what I said. Thank you very much, and we'll talk about it another time. So yesterday, there was a female who was balding, curly hair about 4 inches long. A lot of it's gray. She's in her 60s. I would say late 50s. Olive skin tone, about 5'5", about 200 pounds, maybe 225. She's overweight. She's obese. Wearing all black with Susie and the Banshees gothic eyeliner. I mean, she looked crazy. And she's all sweaty. And her hair had gel in it. I mean, obviously she's not seeing in the mirror correctly what she actually looks like because she's hallucinating. Wearing all black, like goth clothes. You could tell the woman practices occult magic and actually believes that has substance and basis to reality. They're convinced of the delusions because they're hallucinating. All right. She was standing there having a hallucinating moment where she was petting leaves from a tree on the property of 1505. Like if you're high, she kept petting. And the leaves on the tree were like right in front of her face. So she's petting something that's right up in front of her face. Petting. Going, ha, ha, and petting it. I am literally saying that. So I don't want to keep repeating words. I don't have a lot of words at my disposal. She's standing with a man who was Latin. That's what he looked like to me. He was sweaty. He was about her exact height, 5'5". He looked very American. If he's on a visa or an immigrant, he has been here a long time. Okay. He had on a t-shirt and a pair of pants. He was sweaty and both of their eyes were bulging out. When someone's wasted on a hard substance, their eyes bulge out. So his eyes were practically popping out of his head. Oh, I mean this literally, like bulging out. Their pupils were dilated, and I saw them from walking distance away. I mean, I passed them. They were on the same sidewalk as me. They were standing in front of these properties I just said. I'm going back to mine, 1509. He's going, oh, as she's petting the leaves. They were standing there for a considerable amount of time, just wasting time petting the leaves of a tree, while these two Middle Eastern suspects, perpetrators, were cruising the sidewalk. And I turned, going down 15th towards us, and I turned, okay, and this is the action I walked into. The hooker, the Middle Eastern pimp / wannabe agent behind her, and then these two cartel creeps, kooks, the mentally ill, petting the leaves of a tree standing there, okay? In front of the property 150915. No, 1505, 1507. Okay, that's the scene here. Okay, the Middle Eastern wannabe agent and the hooker were on the, if you're standing where I am going towards 1509, they were on the left side of the sidewalk, and the crazies were on the right side petting the leaves of a tree. That's what they were doing, going ha ha. Yes, they were making audible sounds with their mouths. They were wasted high, dude. It was obvious. The man was obvious Latin. He had about 2-inch hair, cut kind of J. Crew style, t-shirt, really sweaty. Both of them just sweating, their faces sweating, covered in greasy sweat, eyes bulging out, pupils dilated. They were wasted. So they both believe they're in some sort of Wicca occult. Oh, I'm convinced of it. And when I came, they both turned around. They both turned around physically. Their bodies both left the tree, and they both stared me down, and they both turned and positioned their bodies to face me. And now they're in a little line, like little toy soldiers, facing me now. They were both facing the houses and petting the tree. When I come down the street, turning the corner, they both turn their bodies around. I have 2 kooks with bugging eyes, dilated pupils, all sweaty, petting the tree. Now they're turning around, and they're both facing me. Their bodies are physically facing me. Their stomachs, everything's facing me. They're both in a line. Their eyes are bugging out, bulging out, pupils dilated, looking at me. There's 2 Middle Eastern wannabe agents and a prostitute. She's not a wannabe. She's a call girl. That's the scene. They're cruising. Nobody expected me to come down towards my house. They just, I guess, weren't informed on their cell phones that I had left and was just coming from the alley. I guess they're not that coordinated at that time. Because I go pretty fast. I do. I don't hang out in the alley. And remember, that's where all the history was happening yesterday. I still can't talk about it. Sorry, nope. In the alley. Can't talk about the alley. So I come around, and the kooks are not facing me when they see me. And they're having this stare down with me. Their eyes bulge out even more. I have 2 mentally ill, with no question, on drugs, people who think they're witches and warlocks, staring me violently down, like if looks could kill. And they didn't stop. What I could assess was they were having a warlock witch showdown, trying to put a spell on me with their eyes. Like, they were really out of it, dude. They really thought they were something, and they were going to challenge me. It was more than challenge. It was like they were trying to, whatever was in their heads on these drugs, they were trying to act it out through their bulging, dilated eyes. What's creepy is the violence that they engage in here. These are the people that you will see cutting up bodies, and they're harbored in a Muslim terrorist sanctuary to do it. They're given massive narcotic hard drugs while they're doing it, to do it while they're high. It's really sick. And they're given tons of money, so they walk around town like that, around all the babies you see that are being pushed past this house. I've filmed and put on the internet other serious mentally ill people that go in and out of these houses that do that. They bring new ones in because these ones that do that die. The 2 here died. The 2 here were psychos. Everyone's seen a lot of psychos on this Facebook account for the files, on the files, because that's who's actually the only people you can get to do these kind of serious, nasty, horrible things to a dead body. Don't forget the organ harvesting. This is so disgusting here. When I say this place smells like a mass graveyard, do you know what I go through in here? When I say it, the stench and the stench of a decomposing body is billowing out into the oxygen of the front door, I mean what I say. Some absolutely seriously psychotic, mentally ill individual is doing these crimes to these corpses. And you'll see them standing on the sidewalk, but they're so high on drugs, they think they're having a Wicca warlock showdown with me. I couldn't believe what I walked through yesterday. These 2 Middle Eastern losers, and then these 2 Wicca and warlocks staring me down. Now that was what was comical. But I couldn't say anything about those two yesterday because they link directly with the witch doctors, who I still can't make any statements about. The witch doctors is their street criminal names. The witch doctors taught them how to dismember and taught them how to organ harvest. All right, they're the ones that taught the kooks. So because I can't talk about the witch doctors is because of the evil military. I have to be very particular on what I say when it comes to the evil military. The weapons of mass destruction that the evil military is going to unleash on my country is a guarantee. It's a guarantee as much as Hitler died once he lost the war. All right? When it comes to this kind of warfare, how am I really going to help the generals? First and foremost, it is to be very particular on what I say about the combat. All right, there. That's all that I should be saying at all anyways. But you can see them, and I report this. No, they are not having a warlock, which, what is this crap on the sidewalk? Stare down. Your magical powers are now on me with your stares. Because you think this in your head. No. And that is not why I'm pee-pooing. There is a scientific answer to this. They are still, some of these mentally ill people, believing this is magical. No. There are scientific answers to this, and I'm so excited to find out. That's the point. We're going to find out. It's going to be really cool. Okay, it's not through hocus pocus, but they're still doing that, and I have witnessed it. All right? They still have their hocus pocus crowd that they go to Virginia, where there's a lot of ancient history. There's like artifacts and so on and so forth. We'll talk about it another time. And they have their little Wicca witch covens. You can do that, but no, it's not going to cause you to have magical powers or alien angel-like powers. If you believe that, go ahead. That's your choice. But you want to go ahead and try to do walk on water. All right. You want to go ahead and see if you can fly because you think you're angel-like. That's at your own risk. All right. Goodbye.